Hi, I'm Flybearing Girl. Welcome to my channel. So when the pandemic started, I got the opportunity to work from home full time. But my partner did not. He had to go out there to do his 9 to 5. So one day while we both had a long day of work, me at home and him out there, he came home, and as he was unwinding, I noticed that he was a bit grouchy. So being the caring wife that I am, I wanted to know why he was sad. I wanted an opportunity maybe to listen, and if he needed to vent, I could be a sounding board. But he gave me the silent treatment. It was difficult, but I was relentless, and I kept asking until I got a response. So it turns out that I was the cause of the problem. My husband told me that he was upset because I hadn't done the dishes when he came home. Now, put some brakes on that, because I don't play that, In our home, we do not believe in gender roles, particularly when it comes to issues like dishes, because we both eat, we both make dirty dishes, and we do them. We both cook. And so it felt threatening in that moment because it seemed like all of our norms were being rearranged, and I didn't understand. And so for me, it was just petty. I was like, it's just some dishes. We will do them before we go to sleep. And I will do them, because I accumulated them during the day, even though he had to before he went to work when he had breakfast. Nevertheless, no problem. I would have washed them. But the fact that he said it was important for them to be washed when he came home, it just got me livid. I did not understand, and he was sad that I didn't understand why. And so we were clashing. We're having some communication issues at that moment. And then he proceeded to say that when he had been home for long periods of time and I had been out working, he always did the dishes. Now, this is true because my husband is an immigrant. I am too, but I've been in the country for about 2 decades now. But 2 years ago, he was home for 6 months while he was waiting for a work permit. And he was correct in what he said, that every time when I came home from work, the place was spick and span, but I didn't notice the dishes because he's a neat freak, just like I am, but he really does beat me to the punch. He's OCD about being clean and orderly. And so when I came home, over the course of those months, I didn't notice that the dishes were done because it didn't matter. And then he continued by saying, I don't like being out there. By this, he meant that he didn't like being away from home, that home was his safe space. These were his words, verbatim. Home is my sanctuary. And therefore, when I come home, I just want to feel safe. In contrast to being outdoors. All of this gave me some insight into why he was feeling a sense of danger outside, but safety inside. So when my husband got his visa 2 years ago and was waiting to come to the US, he expressed on multiple occasions that he was very excited and also very afraid to come to the United States. Excited because he was going to have a crack at the American dream, whatever this means for him, but also was fearful because all he'd come to know, the United States, was a place of grave danger, with shootings happening all the time in malls and synagogues and churches and in schools. And he always felt a sense of danger when being outdoors. And so for him, when he went out, it needed to have a purpose, whether it's work, the grocery store. There had to be a reason why he was out of the house. And if he was not having a reason to be out there, he would not be out there. And then on top of that, he's just an indoorsy type of person, in contrast to my personality, which is one of a social butterfly who loves the great outdoors and all things adventurous. But knowing that he had told me that story about the sense of fear he felt coming to the United States, it wasn't about these 10 dish items and that they needed to be washed, but it was about feeling that he can control an environment. And somehow those things being in place for him was a reminder of the peace and the calm and the safety of his home. All of this just taught me a lesson around some of what people deal with anxiety. I cannot diagnose my partner as having an anxiety disorder, but I can say that I understand when people feel anxious about certain things. Based on this scenario, that it means something. I had a family member who recently told me that they had serious anxiety issues, and it was around some trauma that they'd experienced. And the thing that triggered the anxiety for me seemed like a very petty thing, but it wasn't petty to that person. And so whether the person's anxiety comes from trauma or it comes from perceived danger, that we owe it to the people that we're in relationship with to validate their experiences and to validate their feelings, particularly. I've learned that in this scenario with my partner, and also it's helped me with the situation with my family member that I want to continue to work on. Also, that it's up to us to take action as our loved ones call us to. So for me and my partner, that meant trying my best when I was home to make sure that I washed the dishes. We aren't in a situation where he completely doesn't understand that if I have a busy day and I'm not able to get to those things, he's not upset about it, but he does want me to try when I do have time. That's what love is. And then also to not use the person's anxiety as a weapon against them. When you are in a disagreement for any other thing, do not bring up the fact that this thing that triggers them is petty, because once again, it may seem minute to us, but it is a big deal to that person. And so I just wanted to share this as a way of going deeper in relationships with those that we care about. So what kinds of experiences have you had Have there been situations where people had anxiety issues and you thought it was not a big deal, but it was to them? Are you anxious, and are you needing people to meet you where you are? Let's discuss and stay fly, and I will talk to you soon.